Welcome to the Daily Truths and the Weekly Wins, your daily dose of growth and reflection. I am Matt Clark, here to help you celebrate your small victories and navigate the challenges of everyday life, insights that move us all forward. Whether you're making coffee or making plans, tune in to start your day on the right foot. Let's dive into today's two truths and find our wins together.
Have you ever felt like life is happening to you, not for you? You know, when it feels like no matter what you do, setbacks and challenges keep pulling you back. If you've ever been in that space, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Feeling like a victim isn't the end of your story. In fact, it's the perfect starting point for one of the most powerful transformations you'll ever experience. Let's talk about what it means to shift from a victim mindset to a champion mindset. This shift is where you stop being a passive player in your own life and start becoming the architect of your life and your future. And this is something I think culturally, they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to move away from being a victim, because from a perspective of control and direction, being a victim is exactly what the narrative is currently. So before we dive in, how to make this shift, let's first talk about what a victim mindset actually looks like and contrast that with the mindset of a champion. I've been thinking about this for a little while, and when we're stuck in a victim mentality, we feel powerless. We think things like, why does this always happen to me? Or there's nothing I can do to change this. We blame external factors for our circumstances, whether that's other people, our job, or even just bad luck. It's a mindset that we follow that keeps us stuck in the patterns of focusing on problems instead of solutions. And I think this is really important to understand, because on the flip side, a champion's mindset takes personal responsibility. A champion says, okay, this isn't ideal, but how can I move forward? What's my next step? Champions focus on solutions. They adapt. They don't see failure as the end, but as part of the learning. It's part of the deeper learning process. And that is really where the two separate. And let me tell you, this doesn't mean champions don't have bad days or that they don't struggle. They absolutely do. I can attest to that. But what makes the champion different is that they don't stay in that struggle. They rise time and time again. So most of us have probably thought, well, I don't really do that, or I sometimes do that, or something along those lines. And sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it because it's a trigger. It's something that pulls us in. So what pulls us into that victim mindset to begin with? Well, it can happen to any of us, and often it is triggered by things that feel setbacks, failures, criticism, rejection. All of these things can make us feel like the world's against us. Maybe you've been working toward a goal, and no matter what you do, it feels like you are not making progress. Or maybe someone criticized you or your work, and now you're questioning your abilities. It's easy in those moments to start thinking, what's the point? Or, it's just not meant to be. But here's the thing. These triggers are not roadblocks. They're opportunities to build resilience. The moment you catch yourself slipping into that victim mindset, that's your cue to pause, reframe a situation, and take ownership of your response. So how do we shift from victim to champion mindset? Let's talk about how to actually make that shift when you catch yourself in a victim mentality. And trust me, it's not about doing a complete 180 overnight. It's about taking small intentional steps that build up over time. So let's dive into some strategies and tactical tips on how to move away from a victim. Number one, reframing situations. This is a good one because instead of focusing on what's going wrong, ask yourself, What can I learn from this? Let's say you didn't get that promotion at work. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, reframe it. What skills can I build to be ready for the next opportunity? Champions don't dwell on setbacks. They use them as feedback for growth. Number 2, practice gratitude. I love this one because I share it frequently, and gratitude is really, I think, a fundamental principle that we should practice every day. And this might sound simple, but gratitude is one of the fastest ways to rewire your brain. When you focus on what's working in your life, your energy shifts from lack to abundance. Try starting each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Or you could practice my 3-2-1 check-in, where I celebrate 3 wins every day. And if you want, I'll share that with you in the show notes. But over time, this practice can help you see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. Number 3, watch your self-talk. How do you speak to yourself when things get tough? Do you say things like, I will never get this right, or why even bother? Champions use empowering language even in the face of difficulty. Instead of saying, I can't, try saying, I'm learning, I'm growing, and I will get there. Number 4, radical ownership. Here's a big one. Take radical ownership of your life. That means owning your reactions, your emotions, and your actions. Even when things happen outside of your control, you're always in control of your response. That's where your power lies. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward? Number 5, celebrate small wins. And I will probably share this tip with you over and over again. Don't forget to celebrate your progress. Shifting from victim to champion is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment, so acknowledge every step you take, no matter how small. Did you tackle tough conversations at work? That's a win. Did you choose exercise when you didn't feel like it? That's a win. Champions recognize the power in the small victories and those consistent choices we make that are moving us towards our goal instead of away. All right, so those are some tactical strategies, but what if shit goes bad? Let's talk about setbacks because they will happen. And I think it's important to remember that. Even with the best mindset in the world, life will still throw you curveballs. The key difference between a victim and a champion isn't that champions never fail. It's that champions get back up. They bounce back quicker. So how do you keep that champion mindset alive even when things get tough? Here's the trick. Don't strive for perfection. Strive for persistence. Strive for progress. Champions aren't perfect. They just don't give up. They fail, learn, and move forward. It's about showing up day after day, even when it's hard. Also, surround yourself with a support system where you have people who hold you accountable, who remind you of your strengths when you forget them, and always remember to celebrate your progress, even when it feels small. Every win builds momentum. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with one key takeaway. The power to shift from victim to champion lies in your hands. It's not about being perfect. It's about choosing every day to take ownership of your life, your mindset, and your future. You are the author of your story. And my challenge to you this week, whenever you feel or you catch yourself falling into that victim mindset, pause and ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward? And don't forget to celebrate every small victory along the way. And I will share in the show notes my little 3-2-1 check-in for the day to help you celebrate those wins and really take away the deeper learning from your progress.
Thanks for joining me on the daily truths and the weekly wins. I hope today's episode leaves you inspired to embrace life's challenges and make the most of every day. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with someone who could use a little boost. Join me again for more insights and encouragement. Until then, remember, progress, not perfection. Keep striving, keep growing.